Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Got a very, very special show. I mean, you won't see it anywhere else where you have two professors, Dr. Eugene Williams and Dr. Johnson. Mrs. Johnson, she has done so much, and so has Dr. Williams. And he's going to give you a better introduction than I gave Mary. Doctor,
thank you, Ed.
Welcome. You are evolutionary elder too,
evolutionary
right?
elder.
I'm going to mention that.
All of us are evolutionary elders
okay.
today.
But the main thing that we have here, this is a rare privilege to have outstanding persons like Dr. Mary Johnson in mathematics and Dr. Eugene Williams in English. I'm telling, those are two major things that carry the world. Tell us about it.
I certainly will. First of all, I'd like to introduce you to a phenomenal woman, an evolutionary elder, an educator, a mathematician, a writer. She is my wife, Dr. Mary H. Johnson. Now, I say she's phenomenal because of the many things she did in her life. Number one, she graduated from high school at 15.
Wow.
She graduated as a valedictorian of her high school class at Booker T. Washington High School in Norfolk, Virginia. Went on to Virginia State University, majored in math, did fantastically well there, was honored by Alpha Kappa Mu and several other honor societies there. She majored in physics as well, or minored in physics. And then she comes to Washington, D.C. And in Washington, D.C., she teaches. Where does she teach? She teaches at McKinley High School. Did outstanding there as a teacher, as a math teacher. And then, because she was so great in everything that she did, she was moved up from one position to the next, then became an administrator. She was the principal of the Francis Junior High School, and then she became the principal of her own school, the Washington Math, Science, Technology Public Charter High School. Now, I'm excited about that because while she's no longer there, she had the opportunity to meet First Lady Michelle Obama, who spoke at the commencement a couple of years ago. So the Washington Math, Science, Technology Public Charter High School is her school. She is a phenomenal teacher, and that's what she's going to talk about today, teaching and her work in the area of mathematics.
Fantastic. Let's go to the video.
Some of you say, well, how can I add confidence when I know I can't do this math? And you know, by this time I have sat with thousands of students for over 40 years, one side by side, one-on-one. And I've heard every reason why students cannot learn math. But I pay them no attention. None of the reasons any attention, and don't even want to hear all of them now because I've heard so many of the same ones over and over and over. Why? Because I know that all students can learn math. That is my fundamental belief, and I haven't been shown otherwise yet with all the students that I've taught from grades pre-K to graduate school. All the students that really follow what I teach them learn and do exceedingly well, very well, and they're able to pursue their careers. And I'm at an age now that is really great for me because I see so many of my students who are now doctors, lawyers, all the different professions, engineers, and they started with that fear in math. I can't do it because my third grade teacher said I couldn't, mother said I couldn't, my father said I couldn't, everybody in the world said I couldn't learn math, but they came to the math center or I taught them individually and they learned it.
And we have Dr. Mary Johnson here. Like I was saying, just fantastic. She taught me a little calculus behind the stage there, you know, off camera. I didn't know it was that easy. You know, calculus has always been difficult for me, you know, and she showed me some of the things that you need to do. Dr. Johnson, welcome to the Ed Brown Show. It's a privilege to have you here, and just fantastic. Even some members of the staff are asking her about some of the books and teaching methods that she is using on the young people. Tell us how did you get involved with all of these things that you've accomplished?
Well, I started many years ago intending to be a writer. I had no interest in mathematics at all until I took an
That's
algebra.
before you met Dr.
Yes, long before.
Eugene.
Yes, long before. But I took a course in Algebra 1. And the thing that fascinated me about that course was it was a very simple book. I wish I could find a copy of it. Very simple book, no pictures, nothing. But it started, no pictures of anything.
Oh, wow.
It started out with a very simple statement. It said, these are the laws of algebra. If you learn these laws, you can do everything in algebra. And I really believed that. And so I started working through that book, and I could do everything. I was just doing all kinds of things in the book. And my teacher recognized it, and he was surprised, and he said, well, you know all this? You took it before or something? I said, no, I didn't. Anyway, I was moved out of Algebra 1 into Algebra 2 after a couple of months. And then I used those principles, and I just enjoyed math, and that became my passion to learn math. But meanwhile, students found out about my knowing math, and I could not go.
You started tutoring.
I started tutoring. I tutored at lunchtime.
You became a famous person among the kids.
Yes.
So if you have problems, go see Mary.
That's right. Lunchtime, I would be munching on my sandwich and teaching the math. And after school, and in the hall, we're going to a test. How you do this problem real fast? Teach them really fast how to do it. And they say, oh, thank you, got it. They're gone. So and then I said, oh, well, you know, so then my teacher said, well, you teach it. Students like to listen to you, so why don't you teach this lesson today? And so I would teach lessons sometimes. But I started tutoring right away and enjoying it and learning, really learning more and more about the math. And I took everything that they had to offer in the high school, and they had no more math to offer, so they said, well, why don't you just take this consumer math course? I said, okay. I didn't know what. Yeah, I said, I don't know what it is, but I'll take it. Because they didn't have anything else to offer. I'd taken everything they had.
Is that right?
Anyway, I went on to college as a math major. I'm really enjoying math.
Yeah, you went to Virginia State.
Virginia State College.
Yeah, see, we were rivals. I went to Virginia Union.
Okay, wonderful. But I had friends who went there from my high school.
Right,
yes,
right.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So anyway, that's how I became very passionate. My professor at Virginia State College was very impressed with my work and my knowledge and whatever, and he became a real strong mentor in guiding me through. He said he wanted me to get a doctorate because he said he had not had many students to come through with the language skills and the math skills. They would be strong in math, but maybe wouldn't be so strong in the verbal, or English communication. So he was very supportive of my just going on through. So I started taking graduate math courses as an undergraduate, and then I went on to get my master's degree from Hampton University. Because I moved back to Norfolk, and after I graduated, so I got the degree there, and then I went to the University of Maryland in College Park, and went on to pursue the doctorate degree and finish that up. But anyway, I really taught in between, taught at high school level, and was a graduate assistant as I worked on my doctorate there. So anyway, I just got a passion for helping students, because they said, why, wonder why. Earlier I said, wonder why students are having trouble with this,
Well, one thing, your method, I think that's so significant and simple. How do you explain it?
Yes.
See that I think that's the key.
I think
because that
so.
little lesson you gave me off
know.
stage there before the show, made me look at it in a different
way.
aspect. You know.
Yes, I know. My students say that all the time. They say, "Well, this is all it is." Oh, wow! I've been trying to learn this for months, and they would say that. But I've studied how to teach the math in a way that students can understand it. How to develop logical sequences and logical examples and methods so that everything flows with the logic of the learner. And then bring in topics that they don't normally have in their regular program or they're not likely to have been taught. So I use those kinds of examples, and it's fresh and new to them. They say, oh, I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know you could do that. So I study to find ways to help students become interested in learning math. And it's usually as soon as they see a different approach or another way.
How do you do that? Give us an example of that. How do you get someone interested in mathematics? You know, generally people run like the devil from mathematics.
Well, first, I really generally start with something that they're interested in or that they say they really don't know how to do. And somebody who's interested in learning something that they don't know how to do will listen to you.
Yes.
A lot of times when they are told they don't know how to factor or they don't know how to integrate an expression, something like that, and they say, well, I know how to do this. They're quick to tell you what they know. And so you haven't captured their interest. So what I usually do is I use a diagnostic instrument to find out what areas they need help with. For example, if they come for calculus or algebra 2 or pre-calculus or whatever, I give a diagnostic test that will make sure they have the skills they need in order to learn the course that they are taking, the prerequisite. The diagnostic test is based on the prerequisites for whatever course they're taking. And so then I can find out if there are gaps.
Oh, yes.
But the difference in my testing and my diagnostic approach is that I determine the specific objective need of the student. So when they take the test, I know what item they missed and what specific objective that it refers to. So when I do that, then I meet with the student and talk to the student. And I talk to them about it. I said, you missed this question. Do you want to rethink this? Or did you make a mistake here? And I establish whether they really don't know how to do the problem or do the exercise. And when I establish that with them, and they say, well, I really don't know, I just guess. They'll come down to that sometimes. I just guessed, and so I got it by guessing. So then I'm ready to teach them the specific objective. After they take the test, and I'm sure they really don't know what to do, they really don't understand, I have an individualized profile for that course. If it's algebra, geometry, calculus, whatever the course
it is.
I develop an individualized profile and mark those objectives, specific objectives that the student has not mastered. And then their education program is based on that.
Right. Well, is that reflected in the formula for success in learning math? Tell us a little bit about that and the dedication.
Okay, so to carry out their instructional program, they need a formula. So that's the formula.
Right. Well,
a formula for success in learning math. And that formula is in words first, because I want them to understand that mathematics begins with words. The symbols that are used in mathematics have words that are behind them. They are not just symbols that are just thrown out there. They do have words. So I discuss my formula, add confidence,